What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more Fall of the House of X. This time, with Fall of the House of X issue 4. And man, y'all, this series has been absolute fire. And this one here keeps that going. And a lot of people have been upset with Professor Xavier's recent heel turn. So if you're one of those people, then you might want to brace yourself now because he has lost it. And if you need to get caught up on how we got to the point where Charles Xavier is now being looked at as the bad guy, then I'll place a card at the top of the screen right now and a link at the end of this video as well. But if you guys are ready to find out how much farther Charles Xavier can fall, and with the emergence of Sentinel City, how the mutants can even still win this war, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So this issue picks up with a previous quote from Magneto about Xavier. Promise me you'll watch Charles. 3 began Krakoa. Moira betrayed us. I deserted my post. Now Charles is alone with his dream. Then we pick up with Apocalypse, and he's covered in blood. None of it his, though. He's fought through the best Orchis had, and it was not nearly enough for the Elder Mutant. But the cavalry may have arrived too late. The machines were nearly finished torturing Krakoa to death, as we can see the Sentinels ripping Krakoa apart. But Apocalypse comes to his rescue, and as long as the massive heart of Apocalypse thrummed, the mutants had a chance. And now Apocalypse just wrecks these Sentinels. And I know that's going to upset a lot of people about how inconsistent these Sentinels are, but hey, comics, right? But then Apocalypse walks up to Krakoa and notices that it's dying, and he refuses to let that happen. So he takes his blade and he slices at his forearm and feeds his blood to Krakoa. Then we pick up with Cyclops on the moon, who had just had his ass handed to him by Nimrod. And he's about to leave a final message with Emma in case he doesn't return, but Magic is there for him. And Cyclops tries to tell her that this is a trap. Nimrod could have killed him, but Magic already knows it's a trap. It's always a trap, so they better hurry up. And Nimrod had thought that he had timed this explosion perfectly, but the bomb was just a moment too late, which was disappointing to him. Perfection remained elusive, but Cyclops was indeed right. Nimrod had planned on blowing him and anybody else that came in to rescue him sky high. It was just a second too late. But Nimrod has the ability to be in multiple places at once, so there was no way the mutants could account for it, and his secret weapon was finally rising, Sentinel City. But then Nimrod is called back to Earth by a Mega Sentinel. "I'm busy killing Xmen in several places," he tells her. But about that, she says, "We have a visitor. Charles Xavier has joined us and has an offer you should hear." And man, y'all, it cuts deep to see Charles Xavier walk into Orchis with an offer. How the mighty have fallen. But Nimrod and Xavier have a conversation. Charles wants Krakoa to survive. It was his dream, not the Earth or the solar system. And if Nimrod were to let him have that dream, then he'll help Nimrod achieve what he's been programmed to pursue. Then he offers to remove the mutants off the board for him, and then asks Nimrod if he's considered what will happen when he succeeds, when the mutants and humans are wiped off the planet. What will become of you? You have nothing to fear from mutants living in peace on Krakoa. And if that changes, then I trust you to teach my children the lesson that I've learned, that we have limitations. Then he tells Nimrod that America is launching a nuclear-capable vessel, but he'll handle it to seal the deal with Nimrod. Scandalous, y'all. Then we check back in with Apocalypse and Krakoa. And if Krakoa is to bloom again, his roots must be nourished now. Then Sunfire tells the rest of the mutants that it's time for them to prepare their ritual. So then he has some of the mutants fly above to keep the skies free and clear. Then Apocalypse cuts his hand and feeds Krakoa more of his blood and tells the mutants to come. The magic's just as good if you kill me, but you won't. Shall we begin? Shout out to Captain America, the Winter Soldier. If you know, you know. And now Woofer is like, wait, is he talking about sacrificing us? And Sunfire lets him know that Krakoa feeds off mutant energy. They grew so large and accommodating us, and have been starving since the night of the gala. So now as the ritual has begun, the first challenger steps up to offer his life to Krakoa in a fight with Apocalypse. The Iraqi-born Kentar. He'd seen towers fall and defeated a host of demons on a myth. He is mutant and proud, but his story is near an end, and he wishes for glory. So they fight, and Kentar fires his optic blast at Apocalypse. And he got Apocalypse good, and he's feeling it. But now it's Apocalypse's turn, and he straight up one-hits Kentar and ends his journey instantly. A glorious death, says Apocalypse. But more is required, so the next mutant to step up is named Wrong Slide. He's not lived long, but he is mutant energy, he says. Maybe enough to save this beautiful place by himself without losing another life. So Apocalypse accepts Wrong Slide's challenge. And now the two of them are joined in a duel to the death to feed Krakoa. Meanwhile, the mutants notice that the sun seems to be going supernova. But Apocalypse notifies them that this is the work of the machines, and it is not his and Wrong Slide's fight right now. Their fight is with each other. But FYI, that supernova that the rest of these mutants notice is what Nimrod was just looking at earlier. This is Sentinel City rising. And as this twisted match between Apocalypse and Wrong Slide begins to stabilize Krakoa, the threat of Sentinel City to the entire planet was coming into focus. Then we transition to the X-Men that are currently orbiting above Earth. And Emma is telepathically eavesdropping on NASA. And right now there's a huge structure focusing the sun's rays on Earth. The US military is about to scramble the Space Force Frigate Agnew. But Cyclops lets them know that this is an extinction level event courtesy of the AI inside Orchis. Then Emma senses that the few humans left within Orchis have just enacted the Red Triangle defense. And now the X-Men know that they can only mean one thing, that Xavier is helping them. Then Xavier telepathically contacts Cyclops. Then he tells Cyclops that this will be difficult for him. But Cyclops interrupts Xavier and he's pissed now. Funny, you bringing me back here to the damn softball field like I'm a kid again. Just tell me, are you with Orchis now? And Xavier tries to explain himself. It's not what you think, Scott, he says. Please, hard choices have to be made. I need latitude. I've made a deal. Like the deal you made with them the night of the gala, Scott shouts. We could have won. You cut a backroom deal again, and we all just have to live with it. So you decide who lives and dies? Cut to the end, Charles. Who gets to live? Who's dying? Anybody I know? Anybody I love? Then we pick up with Space Force Frigate Agnew, and they've just departed for Sentinel City, as we see that Charles Xavier now has control of the humans on board who activate the warheads. Then Charles tells Scott that he'd hoped Scott would understand. I won't apologize for what I have done, what I need to do. Right now, I need Orchis to trust me, Cyclops. In order for more mutants to survive, at least for now, no more humans. Whew. That Scarlet Witch line, y'all. But then we see the human space shuttle straight up explode. Then back on the space station with the other X-Men, Scott tells them that this isn't nearly enough X-Men, but we'll have to go with what we have. Manifold, get ready to take this station to Sentinel City. We've got to destroy it right now. But then he makes Emma stay behind. And of course she doesn't want to. She's had enough of being ordered around. But Scott tells her that they might not make it back home. And if they don't, Emma needs to face Charles. And the rest of the team agrees. Then Manifold does what he does and it's game time. Then we pick back up with Apocalypse and Wrong Slide. And it seems like they've been having a serious battle. But Wrong Slide now realizes that Apocalypse was holding back. But Apocalypse tells Wrong Slide that he reminds him of the lost land of Akara and the man that Apocalypse was. You hold wonder in your heart, and above all, you treasure life. But life requires death. And he crushes Wrong Slide's arm. Then he tells him that he's fought well. But Wrong Slide has one last wish before it all ends. And Apocalypse tells him to speak this wish so it may be true. Then Wrong Slide tells him that if he sees Rock Slide again, tell him, for me. It was so good to be for a while. Now you can be you again. Enjoy it all for me. It's such a beautiful world. Then Apocalypse rips apart this dude's head. And now it's done. And Krakoa has the energy that it needs to survive. Meanwhile, we see Sentinel City as Manifold teleports the entire space station onto it. And now they've managed to piss off Nimrod. And he gives them some credit. They knew the mutants would attack. But not that they teleport the whole damn station into Sentinel City. And the fight is on as the X-Men take on Nimrod and Omega Sentinel. You won't stop us, Cyclops, Omega Sentinel screams at him. You've just turned minutes of suffering on Earth into months, or even years. But Nimrod, meanwhile, is wrecking everybody right now. He's here, he's on Earth and beyond. They've already won, he tells the X-Men. Stop squirming. If you can accept this truth, then you can be released from your frail containers. Perhaps it will not be your end. We are all electricity. That is our single commonality, and perhaps the energy within you will transfer to a place where our existences do not overlap. But then he begins to think about what Xavier said to him earlier, and he starts to question what's next. Are there places yet undiscovered where he can keep killing? What is he when the task is accomplished? But then Omega tells him that they've got a problem. Nightcrawler is aboard Sentinel City, and he's sabotaging repair efforts. And a powerful storm is heading this way. And Nimrod's like, well, we are near this solar system's sun. But Omega tells him that the storm's not coming from the sun. It's coming from Earth. And it said that in space, screams go unheard. However, that's untrue if one is able to cocoon oneself in oxygen and lightning, then blister across the void in a solar tempest. If you could do that, then your scream of vengeance will ring across a galaxy. As we then see Storm flying in to finally join in on the action. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this issue. Damn, y'all, I told y'all this story is so dope. And now only one more issue left of the Fall of the House of X series. And I can't wait to see how Storm gets down in this. Plus, I wonder how she's going to react when she finds out that Xavier made that deal with Orchis. And I've said it a few times in the comments, but I really think that this fall of Krakoa might spell the end of Xavier too. At least for now. I feel like he might end up being a martyr for the Krakoan era or something. But what did you guys think about this issue in this series so far? In addition to the whole event as well. And what do you guys think is going to happen with Charles by the end of this event? Do you agree or disagree with my take? And how crazy was that fight to feed Krakoa? Sheesh, that was brutal. But I can't wait to see how this all ends and what comes from the ashes. This event is nearing its end and is scheduled to come to an end in June with issue 35 of X-Men, which will also be the 700th issue. So it's almost over, y'all, but still a lot more fireworks to come. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you'll gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to focus on in the future. And you get to preview what's to come for this channel. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and more in these videos. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do that, then you can still be a tremendous help to this channel's future by dropping a like, share, and subscribe in the comics icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.